status in essence?
Right back there. Right back there, then here. The young lady right there?
With the white headband.
With the white headband?
Or whatever you call that. It's a very large beret or something. Or beret. Sorry. I have a son, no daughter.
I am from the Pakistani Embassy. And how has Pakistan thus far reacted to the July 18th agreement? And to what extent does this agreement threaten U.S.-Pakistan relations in a moment in time that is so critical?
Tezzy?
I'll take it. Pakistan has obviously been displeased with this agreement. I believe that it has asked for similar treatment and been told that the United States is not contemplating anything like that at this time. I think, obviously, this was a great disappointment to the government of Pakistan. I suspect that the government of Pakistan doesn't think that they've heard the last word on the subject. But there's an awful lot else that's going on in the U.S.-Pakistan relationship. The F-16 sale, which was very important to President Musharraf, the whole dynamics of the relationship, the personal relationship between him and the top leadership in the United States, the long-term aid commitment, both military and economic aid, and the fact that it's quite clear that the top leadership of the U.S. government continues to look on Pakistan as a country with which we have an important relationship. I believe, although you might be better placed than I to know, that these are all things that are of value to the Pakistani government and which they will go to some effort to safeguard.
There was a question back there. Yes.
Satish Korpe. I'm from the Indian American Forum, and I'm not an expert in the topic, but I do have a question. In 2000, when President Bush came to power, he unilaterally declared that the treaty between Russia and the U.S. is void. And over a period of years, many countries have acquired this technology from U.S. under the big borrower steal strategy. And since then, has the U.S. made any public commitment to stop the development of further nuclear armament or reduce it to keep a balance?
I assume the question goes to the ABM treaty. Is that?
It's for you.
Is the question to the ABM treaty?
It's a mix.
Is the treaty that President Bush declared it was void unilaterally? That was to dispose of
That would be the ABM
nuclear weapons.
But then he was also talking about, and also nuclear disarmament after that.
George, you just won this question.
Yeah, I mean, the decision of the position of the Bush administration that the ABM treaty was obsolete, no longer appropriate, did not serve the security interests of the United States, or for that matter, I believe, argued nor Russia's. And the treaty was allowed, the United States abrogated it, and the treaty is no longer in force. For some, this was not a step away from arms control, that the process of reducing the inventories, both the Russian inventory of nuclear weapons and the American inventory, goes on. If you believe, and you may or may not, that this is true disarmament, because the numbers of weapons available or deployed is reduced, then you can say the United States and Russia both have been engaging in pretty active disarmament over the last 5 or more years. Some believe that the treaty structure for that the United States treaty agreement between the United States and Russia really is not one that is comprehensive, does not require the targets to be met until the day before the treaty lapses, and there are no verification procedures in it, so it doesn't meet the normal standards of arms control, and therefore is an arrangement that is subject to the interpretation of either state, so not quite an arms control agreement. So my own view about this is that whether there has been a reduction, I don't know whether, I think it's good that there's been a reduction. I think that's generally stabilizing. I was not, myself personally, pleased with the step away from the ABM treaty. I believe that defensive arms races are not a good idea, and I would not like to see an offense-defense arms race either. So the deployment of a defensive system does not seem to me